Hi, I'd like to share a prototype of the dashboard I built with Kibana. And this is using data from CDC and GIS data. So the goal is to target testing efforts to identify the most vulnerable people to lead poisoning. So the question we're trying to answer is what county should we target for testing? Sub questions are, do people who live in pre-1950 houses more susceptible to lead poisoning? And also, is income level a factor? And also, is the testing effort enough for counties with high incidence of lead poisoning or maybe high percent of children with elevated blood lead levels? We have four visualizations here. The first two, the map and the pie chart, gives us a high level view of the data. So this, if you look at the raw data here, is the percent of children with elevated blood lead level as compared to this, if you look at the raw data, it's a total number of confirmed cases. Again, this is a prototype. Please disregard the sum and the average word here. So from here, I can see that the state of Texas has a high percent of children with elevated blood lead level. I can drill down with this, and I can see in the state of Texas, the counties. So I represent the counties in this pie chart using FIPS. And since this is the prototype, I just use FIPS here. In an ideal scenario, I should have the county name. But it tells me the total confirmed cases of the counties in Texas vis-a-vis the percent of children with elevated blood lead levels. And they don't normally correlate, because if I remove these search terms and these search terms, I can see that it's the state of Pennsylvania with the highest number of total confirmed cases. This visualization is the stack percentages. So if I want to make this big, and actually it's pretty cool, Kibana makes it easy for us to, resize our visualizations. I see in green is the percent of children with elevated blood lead level, and then the percentage and the percent of children tested. The -1 means that there's no data for this. So I put -1 because zero is different from -1. So I rank this according to the highest percent of children with elevated blood lead levels in an ideal world. The higher percent you have of children at risk, you should have more testing efforts. Unfortunately, this is not the case for Lassen and Houston. So we could recommend to send more teams to Lassen and Houston because they have a high percent of children with elevated blood lead levels but low testing. This tells me the percent of children under 6 who are living in poverty. But if you can see here, let me just highlight the children tested for Collingsworth. They actually, the percent of children with high blood lead levels are actually tested uh, well, because you see the green and the purple area collide very near to each other. So the government is pretty responsive, especially to the areas that have a low income level. And the next visualization is the housing data. So this is the number of housing units that are built pre-1950, and then we divide it into buckets. So this is bucket 0 to 99. This means that 0 to 99 confirmed cases of lead poisoning, and this is bucket 100 up. So what we can see here that Allegheny has a high number of pre-1950s houses, and they also have a high number of total confirmed cases for lead poisoning. And so what if we want to make our buckets more granular? So instead of 100, we want to do 50. So Kibana lets us do that. We just change our interval to 50 and see how our data changes. So now we have 4 buckets, minimum of 100, minimum of 50, minimum of 150, and then the zeros. Again, Allegheny is our winner here, and Suffolk has a high confirmed case, but they have less pre-1950s housing. So if we go back to our dashboard, Kibana's pretty powerful. There, and then if you see here, it updates automatically. So for real-time data, it's very responsive, and also for snapshots of data. So if we have time series data, it's easy for us to go to see this view, the days so far, previous month, previous year. And there are other visualizations available too. So you have pie chart, tile map, vertical bar chart. And the good thing is you can download the data sets and play with it, do your own models. Of course, depending on the permissions that you have, because security is also an issue. So all in all, Kibana's great. There are other visualization tools out there, but this has great integration with Elasticsearch, great for real time, very scalable since Elasticsearch is the back end.